Now we're live. Everybody, this is Alan Bechtold. We're here for the Fantastic 40 Masters of Marketing Roundtable. And we've got a slightly smaller group today, but I got to tell you, they make up for it in brain power and experience. What you're going to, we're going to be discussing tonight, a bunch of questions we've been getting from the audience, and we're looking at closing that sale, driving people where you want them to be on the site to make the decision to buy. All the traffic in the world doesn't help if you're not converting that traffic. And there's all kinds of ways to do so. We've got the questions. Heather Vale will be on as the moderator. I'm here with my producer, Zane Miller. Hello, Zane. Are you on mic? He's just waving at me. I'm also joined by Erik Stafford, a great friend of mine, brilliant designer of websites, conversion expert, because I've seen the way he maps out the eye travel on a website. It's amazing the things he can do with promotions. Dr. Joe Vitale, what do I have to say except, wow, thanks so much for being here. Everybody knows who you are. What the heck do I need to say, right? Michael Penland and TJ Rohleder. I feel, and Robert Imbriale, this is a party. And Joe, you said that earlier. It feels like a party, and that's what it's been every night this week. But it's the kind of party that's different, and here's the difference. In my youth, most of my parties we emptied kegs. This party we fill brains. And with that being said, I think I'm going to step away. Make room for Heather Vale. We've got some other guests that may still be arriving, but we're not going to make the audience wait for that. I want to get the show rolling. And I'm going to step away, hand it off to Zane, and let Zane bring Heather on. And we're going to start pummeling you guys with questions and just round table, keep the party going, because this has started out great. Thanks for being here, everybody. And it's the Fantastic 40 Series, Episode 4, as Warren Whitlock says. Episodes. I like that. Enjoy.
Are we supposed to be quiet for this part, guys? Let me just be quiet and pretend I'm not talking right now.
I can't hear Zane. Can you guys?
No, Zane's muted. You're gonna have to look in the chat to see what he has to say. But
well, that won't help the audience.
Okay, so as we figure this out,
oh, he said I need to take this.
Alan, I just got to say real quick before you get going.
Yes.
I'm stunned by this panel, and you know, everyone that's on this panel has taught me so much about marketing that I'm just kind of in shock right now that I'm sitting here with you guys. And I think the thing I'm most excited about is that this is a panel of people that know about conversions, but in so many multiple platforms, man. I mean, there's video, there's audio, there's direct mail. Joe has worked in a ton of different platforms, from print to online. TJ's done a ton of direct mail. You know, I'm just shocked at the panel that you've assembled for this. And so I'm excited because conversions have to happen everywhere, no matter where your marketing is. So I think it's cool.
Well, excellent. And what I'm doing right now is pulling up the questions, which that I see coming in here. Just a second, folks. I guess, let's see. Let's just start. And some of these are quite specific, which is what we kind of promised the audience, was because you're asking your own questions, you get to ask specific ones so that we can drill down a little, give people more than what they anticipated from more than what you could get from, say, a stage presentation or buying a course. This is where you can actually get the rubber to meet the road, so to speak, and apply knowledge that you need and that you're going to hear from this panel, almost hot seat style, but in a little different format, which is where I dreamed this whole idea up, was something I just know a lot of my clients don't get enough of. It's what makes consulting and coaching so valuable. And that's one of the things I think we can show the audience firsthand. So I'm just going to throw out the first question and get rolling. From Kim in Ontario, Canada, what's the best way to sell packages? And by this we mean, close that sale to corporations. I think if
Mr. Vitale, that's a question for him, I think. For the doctor.
You'll have to unmute yourself, Joe.
Yeah, I was finding my unmute so I can complain about being volunteered to answer the first question. Wow, I was cutting out and I didn't even hear all of the questions, so somebody else may have to take that.
Okay, well, I'll restate.
I'm happy to throw in a word. I mean,
run with it.
Go for it.
I just know that Joe has sold to a lot of companies before, and I never have. I've always just dealt with consumers. But people are people. You know, if you get, that's my 2 cents right there.
That's it. They're people. Yeah.
Well, that's it, really. I'll go ahead and follow up since he broke ice there. Yeah, people are people. You know, we're all responding to the very same thing. When we start talking about companies and corporations, part of our mind thinks that they're different from regular human beings, but they're not. Those corporations have people in them, and those people are looking for their benefits. They're looking for the benefits more for the company than themselves personally, but their ego is also invested in this. Whenever I try to sell anything, I'm always thinking about what's in it for that person who's got to shell out the money. So whether it's an individual, meaning a consumer, or it's a business, we're still thinking about the psychology of buying. We're still thinking about human nature. We're still appealing to the ego. I've said many times, if you really want to write great copy and make more sales, get out of your ego and get into their ego. Think about what's going to make them feel good, what's going to make them strut, what's going to help their dreams come true. Whether that's a consumer or a company, the principles are basically the same.
I love that. Yeah, I'll take that for a minute if you guys don't mind. You know, at the agency at Isusi, we work with a lot of big businesses, and the first thing to do is, everything that TJ and Joe said, but you have to keep in mind who you're speaking with as well. If you're speaking with the owner, the CEO, the president, it's going to be a very different conversation as to if you're speaking to like a marketing manager or a webmaster or a technology manager. You can't make them look like idiots. You got to make them shine if you want to get that gig, right? You got to make them look good in the eyes of their boss for bringing you in, right? So there's, it's understanding. It's understanding who you're in the meeting with and what you can do for them. Like the guys had said, appealing to their ego and putting benefit in it for them. We don't get to meet with, the president of some of the bigger banks and companies we work for. We meet with a marketing manager or a marketing director. And, you have to approach that conversation in a way where they're going to understand the benefits, but also going to be able to sell them and look good doing it to their higher-ups, right?
That makes great sense. Robert, I bet you got something to add to this because I know you've done some work selling to companies.
Not a whole lot, Alan, but, there's a few things that are worthwhile talking about here. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay, but... One of the things I always look for is the person that I'm working with in the company, and that's the person you're really selling to. So as Joe mentioned, it's like you got to make them look good. Literally have to appeal to their ego because what they're looking to do is they're always looking to go up the corporate ladder a little bit, right? So I always look for what is it that they need to be able to look good to the people that they report to, and that always helps me in terms of working with corporations. But a lot like TJ, I don't really work with a whole lot of corporations. I work with, solopreneurs and entrepreneurial types who basically run their own enterprise rather than that larger corporations. So it is a little bit different, but, at the end of the day, you are appealing to one person, and the more you can really look to what they're looking for, really understand what their needs are and appeal to them, the better off you're going to be as far as delivering the goods and getting that sale and closing that deal.
I don't know if Michael wants to contribute to that one or not. Michael?
Well, absolutely. I'm always talking. Yeah, really, it's all about risk reversal, guys. It really is. And as Robert mentioned there, and as Joe mentioned, their concern is them. How's this going to affect me in this business, the upper echelons or executives? What happens if this goes south or goes bad? And so, it really does come down to, if you can take the risk off of them and put it on yourself so that you're assuming the risk for this business deal you're doing or this sale you're trying to close, then that's like a weight comes off the person. It really goes back to, I think Joe mentioned this, what's in it for me? Well, if everything is in it for him with no risk, then the chances of closing that sale, of selling that package, doesn't become an issue any longer. And so I would just, I would encourage the person that asked that question to do that. Just reverse the risk. Take all the risks. I know, like in my personal development seminar, I offer a double your money back guarantee. And, we've trained hundreds of people. No one's ever taken me up on that guarantee. Of course, your stuff has to work. If it doesn't work, you're in deep trouble. You're in deep trouble. As long as your stuff works, as long as the package you're selling to the corporation works, then, reverse the risk. Take all the risk upon yourself.
Well, and with that in mind, I got something to throw out there.
Go for it.
If your package is expensive enough, and I'm just playing off of what you guys are saying, so but if your package is expensive enough, then you can spend a ton of money to create that irresistible offer. We've got an offer right now. It's so expensive, but we're offering to pay for 2 first-class air tickets. And then we're throwing in an extra $1,000 to help make their travel, even more comfortable. We're picking them up at the airport, helping them with their luggage. We've got their hotel room waiting for them when they get there. We're giving them an additional $250 when they get there to spend, they get room service, they get all their meals, and this is all just to pitch this deal for a few days. That if they're not happy with it, they basically can tell us they're not happy, and then we'll take them back to the airport and we'll part friends. So it's that irresistible offer. I think that's what Michael was talking about. I just thought I'd mention if the package is big enough, you can spend a lot of money to wine and dine these people and really, really, really make it advantageous for them. So I just wanted to throw that idea out there to you.
I like that. That's a good point. Let's move to another question that I know you guys are going to really play off of well. I've got one here that I really like. This is from Zach in Brick, New Jersey. He wants to know what your best recommendations are for growing out a membership site. And keep in mind, I think this fits with conversions because, of course, to grow out a membership site, you better be converting members, right? So whoever wants to take it away can just wave at the screen down below, or I'll just start down the line. Let's start with Erik. Erik, you've done membership site work. We've done a lot of them. And one thing I just want to say real quick before we move on is TJ's last comment is dead on, and it really goes back to just knowing your audience, which is some of what everyone was saying, right? Is we've done work for real estate companies where they're going after mega high-end buyers, and they can afford to send out treasure chests, lock boxes, leather-bound presentation kits, right? Because they know the value of their customer, they know who they're dealing with, and the person that asked the question about how to land bigger clients with a package, you're really going to want to be aware of your perfect image that you can present to them, right? Be aware of your brand, because it may be that you want to be in a suit, or it may be that you want to be dressed like me. It really kind of depends on who they are and where you're going. So sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there because I love what TJ said about knowing enough about your potential audience and what your offer's worth to be able to really make it irresistible to them by that's like the infomercial model, right? Sorry if I'm rambling, but that's like the infomercial model. You know what you can spend so that because you know what you're going to get. Anyway, sorry. So you were asking me about what? My beard? No, wait. Yes. You were asking about how do you grow out? How do you grow out your beard? That was the no membership sites.
Yeah. So I've heard a lot of people say that the average stick rate across multiple industries for membership sites is 3 months, maybe 4. And I found that you can make that much, much better by having kind of a two-pronged approach to it, right? You have to make sure that there's new stuff there that's worthwhile for them to come back and visit, because the only site people visit every day is their email and Facebook. So you really have to have either some gamification in there, quizzes, surveys, interactive polls, a forum, something that's going to get them engaging and making it important enough for them to come back. And I think if you could do that, and if you can also have a consumption strategy, you know, there's certain plugins now you can use so that at the end of each session, people have to answer several questions about the session before they can unlock the second one, the second week, or the second module. And I think if you can start to do that, I think you can really extend that sort of 3 to 4 month shelf life and get a much longer stick rate out of people.
That's a great point. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. Everybody remember the question, please, because one of the reasons, I just wanted to tell Joe this, one of the reasons why I'm here half in the dark and dare to host this on a camera with my aging self up here is because I actually have a stand-in, and it's the lovely and talented Heather Vale. And she just joined us. We're going to get her up on the mic here in just a second, the unwrapper herself. And she'll be taking over this because, quite frankly, what I was supposed to do, and I normally will do as soon as she gets here, I step away. And then everybody's relieved. I'm making fun of that, but I got your point, Joe, and that's why Heather has the moderator job. Somebody's got a mic problem. Is that you, Erik?
It's not me. It sounds like someone's skydiving.
It does. Is that? I haven't heard Heather yet get on, so we've got to, you know, as Robert was saying in the chat. As Robert was saying in the chat, this is the future of seminars. However, it is still developing. The one thing, Google Hangouts are wonderful. But they're still ever changing and shifting. So I'll go on to another question while we work out the microphone problems and get everybody in and when it's working.
Well, Alan, stick with that last one because I was the only one that talked about it, and I'd love to hear what the panel has to say about membership sites.
Oh, I was absolutely moving on with that one, yes. And I imagine Joe is who I wanted to turn to because I know Joe does memberships and does them very well.
I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yes. Well, I just agree with what Erik said there because if you don't add fresh content, new content, stimulating content, pile on the bonuses, those people are going to say goodbye very quickly. 3 months or less, they are gone. They are history. So every month, every week, depending on the membership site, you have to treat it like it's a whole new product. And you have to think about what these people are looking for, what their problems are, what their curiosities are, and create a product, find a product, dust off a product, repackage a product, and offer it to them. If it doesn't feel like Christmas Day to them on a regular basis, they're just going to cancel the credit card and unsubscribe and leave. So that's I see 2 thumbs up from the dark man from the crypt.
Yes, that's brilliant. That's so true. It's got to feel like Christmas. I love that.
That's the theme right there. Make them feel like it's Christmas, and they'll stay. They'll go, oh, I love Alan. I love Erik. I love Joe. I'm going to stay in the membership site.
Oh, that's great. TJ, you just turned your camera on. I bet that means you have something to say.
People, again, I'm just bouncing off of what the doctor said, but people are addicted to new stuff. They're just addicted to it. They, you know, when you, Alan, when you and I haven't spoken for a while, we always just say, hey, what's new? You know, we always want to, so the challenge is, you know, a lot of times there is nothing new, but you got to keep coming up with new stuff all the time. So there's my throwback to the guys here. How do you guys keep coming up with new stuff constantly when there really is nothing new?
Who said you could ask questions?
Oh, okay. I just always learned to ask a question. You know, somebody asks you a question, you just turn right around and ask another question.
I think TJ suddenly became the audience.
TJ, I've seen a ton of your marketing over the years, and it always feels new. I'm just saying, you've been doing sort of the same thing for many, many years, but it always feels fresh and new.
Sales letter over and over again. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I
do.
The framework, right? I mean, so, like Joe had said, I think the framework for a successful membership site, sure, it may be the same sort of tricks, it may be the same sort of formula or pattern that you've used in the past, but you can make it fresh depending on what the material is about, what the membership site is about, the questions that people ask, the answers you give them. You can change sort of the style up. You can offer sort of little one-off hangouts or video sessions or little breakouts where you're doing this or that or the other. It's like writing emails to my lists. I've essentially been writing the same emails to my lists for like 8 years, but they're always different. They're always different, right? Based on what's happening in my life, what's going on here. I think Joe probably can talk about this because you've written a whole ton of sales letters, dude. They're not all the same, right? But the formula is the same, right?
It is. I agree. That's a good point.
Well, if you want me to speak to that, yeah, the formula is basically the same. But you know what I'm really doing when I am thinking of membership sites, I'm thinking of sales letters, I'm writing copy. This is kind of a broad answer that will answer a lot of questions, though. Eugene Swartz was one of the copywriters who influenced me, and I'll have to paraphrase the paragraph, but he basically said a copywriter should be the script writer of the prospect's dreams. And so when I'm writing copy, I'm thinking, what do these people want that's going to make them happy? And then I try to write the copy to speak to that dream, to kind of, in a hypnotic way, draw an imagery and a description that lets them know when you get this product, you buy my book, whatever it happens to be, you will go in the direction of your dreams. A lot of copywriters will focus on the pain. I don't typically do that. That's kind of a philosophical thing for me. But I find whether it's a membership site or anything that I'm trying to sell, if I paint the end result of these people living their dream, whatever that happens to be, I will increase my sales. And I'll sleep at night. I'll feel really good about what I'm doing.
That's great.
Michael? I thought I said all that and I was muted, so I'm glad you heard me.
I heard you, man. Even in the shadows.
I'm there.
It may be darker here, but that just increases my hearing. Let's see if Michael, you've done some membership site work. Am I not right? I've seen plenty of them. What I wanted to ask, and the rest of you can talk about this a little too, since this is conversion, and I understand that's keeping the customer too on a membership site, but how do you convey that on that front end where they're coming up with the money to get in to begin with? And that might be something to speak to as well, because everything that's been said so far is great, and that's going to keep them from leaving and jumping ship, which is important. But I'm just kind of interested too in how you convey that on that page you've gotten them to get to sign up as a member.
Yeah, to me it's just about motivation. I'm going to. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. I'm high tech, man. Yeah, to me it's just about the motivation. And what I try to do on the sales page is get them to relive an experience they've had in the past, connect that to the offer that I'm making, so and just flip it back and forth between them so that they begin to feel that feeling they once had again and relate it to what I'm offering. And then once they're in the membership site, I want to give them more than they really bargained for. And then at some point I want to give them something that's so outstanding, so value-packed, they would be an idiot to leave, because they're going to start thinking, all right, next month I'm going to get this again and again and again. But on that sales page, just try to connect them with a good experience they've had in the past. I tell stories. I think stories is how you do it, and they see themselves in that story, and as a result of doing that, then they feel that feeling I want them to feel. It's really just about motivation. And you got to constantly keep those people motivated, moving them in the right direction, or they're going to go to someone else. My stick rates way over 4 or 5 months. I mean, I've got 90% stick rate after a year. That's, to me, is good. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
that's very good. It's.
I mean,
I think that's good by any standard.
I don't have tens of thousands of members either, but thousands, and it works. It works. And there's two ways to do that. Either with a positive motivation, helping them to relive an experience, connecting that with your offer, doing that continually by giving them more and more in the site, or even emotional. Many years ago, I trained the salespeople for help I've fallen, can't get up. And I would just tell them, look, when you're in the room with the person, ask them, when they back the ambulance up to the door, how are your children going to feel? Now, I know that sounds kind of crude and cruel, but the point is, it's a negative motivation to get them to take an action step. The action step being for them to vote, that is, use their credit card to buy this product. I don't think it's any different. I think everything we do is really salesmanship. Someone said, I think it was Kennedy once said, it's salesmanship, marketing is salesmanship in print. Well, I think it goes way beyond that. I think you've got to get inside the mind of the potential customer, client, see out of their eyes, feel what they might feel, and help them to feel that again in a positive way. My 2 cents.
I like that. One
yeah,
technique.
Oh, sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Erik.
I was just going to say, in terms of getting people into a membership site, under no circumstances can it sound like work. Because the last thing anyone wants is more shit they have to do every month, if you'll excuse my language, right? I mean, but if you can make it sound like there's a benefit driven, right? Like Joe had said, like Michael had said, right? Like if they know that every month they're going to get to log in and get either answers to their questions or interact with amazing people like are on this panel right now, right? Or if they know that every month they're going to get to, or every day they're going to get to log in and just post funny and stupid stuff on some sort of a forum, right? There has to be a benefit there for them. If it sounds like work, they're not going to stay. But if you can give them something that they could very easily use and implement and see results from every month, either that or even social standing, right? Like inside a members area, if you've got a forum, if you can kind of rate posts or give people points for commenting or helping or interacting or whatever that may look like, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah, that would. Robert, did you want to check in on this one?
I always like to check in. You know me.
Yes.
Really, it's a fun topic because a couple of things that are coming up. They're actually talking about two different things. You're talking about the front end of getting people in the membership site in the first place. That's the marketing side of it. And then there's the other side, the retention, keeping them there. If you're running and I know you don't typically think of web hosting as a membership program, but you're paying them monthly, so it might as well be a membership program, right? So what you do is you increase the pain of leaving as much as you possibly can so that they're not encouraged to leave. And, the pain is so high. It's like, if I had to leave my web host, I got 142 domains. I checked today. If I had to leave my web host, it would be months of work to move everything over. I'm not leaving. I'm a customer for life for them. Unless they go out of business for some reason, I'm going to stick with them. The other thing that speaking to the topic of creating new content, what I like to do is hide the membership site. And a lot of people will lead with that. I won't lead with that. I'll put it in the background. In other words, what I'll say is I want you to join a training program. And what I'm going to do is every month I'm going to come on and deliver a new webcast, a new teleseminar, new content, something fresh. And in order for them to get there, they have to have a membership account because they have to go through that process to get there. And, of course, the membership site ends up being, we got the added bonuses in there. We've got the PDFs. We've got the recordings of past events. We've got all that sort of thing. And again, if it's a membership site that's passive and just sits there, you're right, people aren't going to go to it, and within 3 months they're going to be done. They're going to be tired of seeing the charge on the credit card, and they're going to say, this doesn't make any sense to me anymore. I'm not using it. As Michael pointed out, there's no motivation to go in there. So I like to dangle the carrot and say, you know what, every Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to be doing a live training, and that's part of your membership. And that's how I've been running it, and it works really well. Retention is very high. It's 90% plus for that sort of thing because there's a reason. Every week there's something new that's coming up that they want to hear, they want to be part of.
What you're talking about there is great. In fact, you thought just kind of where I was heading to is the pain of disconnect, the fear of loss if I don't sign up for this membership. And one technique I've seen before and have not used and I'm eager to try one day is showing what we're delivering this month. And by the way, next month it's not available unless you join. You know what I mean? I mean, don't miss it. Join now.
I don't even know if I like the language of join. I like the language of become a member. I think what Robert said, what Robert said is brilliant. I don't think I'll probably ever use the word membership site in copy ever again. I like become a member, man. You're a member, and then you just so happen to get all this extra stuff. I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Well, that's like Agora, one of Agora's financial clubs. I remember that I got an envelope from them offering me the incredible. Oh, why are we getting radio? Am I hearing radio? Are you hearing radio? That's wild. I'm getting crossed over into somebody else's webinar or something. I just heard a commercial for Nissan. Maybe Google's playing with ways to monetize this wonderful service. I don't know. They just played an ad to me.
I only hear you, Alan. You sound good.
Okay. Well, I see Heather maybe she left and got back in. She's trying to maybe join up here. But meanwhile, I love this discussion. I was starting to say I got an offer from one of Agora's financial groups, and it was a group where it was an envelope that informed me that I have been selected by the membership of this group, by their board, to become a member of this esteemed group, as opposed to a membership club. It was like, you've been chosen. And it just made me feel like, God, I ought to join this, because if I turn them down, they'll all be mad. Yeah. What will they think of me if I say no to this incredible opportunity? TJ, did you have something you were wanting to add? Uh-oh. Oh, okay.
Sounds like TJ's having trouble hearing us, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He muted him. You've been heavy on the mute button tonight, Erik. Let's move on to another question. What do you think? Is everybody braced for that? Here's something
Ready
for all of you. All right. Michelle Warren in North Charleston, South Carolina, near where I live, as a matter of fact. As a management and entertainment company, how can I create more revenue? In other words, convert more sales through my website. These would be ideas. Let's pretend that Michelle is our client, and she's asked for our help increasing conversions on her entertainment and management company site. Now, we obviously don't have the benefit of seeing the site, which would be probably helpful, but let's just help her with her imaginary, we'll help her through our own imaginations.
The first thing I would do, Alan, is ask her
Yes.
what she's doing that's working now. Just do more of it. That'd be the first step.
Yes.
Simple. I mean, I know that sounds simplistic, but sometimes the obvious is overlooked. That's like if I'm doing consulting with a company, the first thing I ask, show me what's working for you. A lot of consultants, ask me what's the problem, what's not working. I want to know what's working, because I can take that and really exploit that ethically to bring more revenue in by simply just doing more of what's working.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else have any experience with working with any companies that are entertainment and management?
I'm going to jump in and just, again, we don't know who this person is or what their company is. Is she or he trying to bring in more clients to convert, or taking to bring in more clients to convert? Well,
I would assume that.
Well, I'm making some assumptions here too. I think there's a credibility issue. I don't know what this person's credibility is. I don't know what that company's credibility is. And so my first impulse is to create that, build that, and promote that. I'm very much a disciple of P.T. Barnum, and as you know, I wrote that book, There's a Customer Born Every Minute, that many of you here have read. And Barnum would be looking at leveraging the media to draw attention to this company that the woman has in order to elevate it in the perception of the eyes of the public and her would-be clients. because when these clients are considering going to any of her competitors, the clients are going to weigh all of their options, and they're going to want to go with the one they've heard of, the one that has the most credibility, the one that has the most publicity, the one that seems to stand head and shoulders above everybody else. So I would be asking not only what has been working in the past, but have you used publicity? Have you sent out news releases? Have you had feature stories planted on you or your clients? Have you written any articles? Do you have any white papers? Do you have any of this on the website? If some of your clients are doing great, are there photos, their websites, their testimonials on the website? I mean, I can probably just run with this. There isn't enough to go on to be more specific, but there's some obvious things that people don't do, and one of them is building credibility, and another one is leveraging publicity and the free media that's out there in order to get that credibility.
Yeah, you've written some great stuff on that. I've read a lot of that and believe in it wholeheartedly. Too many people don't tap the media, and people don't realize that the local media, particularly, and that's her market. Is she's a local company. They're dying for good stories.
That's right. They're starving.
And an entertainment company, it seems to me, would have people that are what the media loves to cover.
Yes.
So
you know what, guys? When Isusi first moved to South Florida as an agency, we were having trouble getting traction because, you know, Naples, Marco Island area down here, as Michael and I'm sure some of you others know, is sort of good old boys network, lots of old money, lots of very connected people. And so one of the first things we did is we offered a free website to the Naples Chamber of Commerce, and it cost us an absolute fortune to build it. But it brought us some amazing visibility. And so I would say if you're in the entertainment and management business and you don't have a high-profile client, you have to get one. Even if you have to service them for free for a while, it's like Joe had said, sort of the social proof of having that is going to help you immensely. I know that, you know, I was a very good direct response designer for years when I first started interacting with internet marketers, and I never designed sales letters for many people, but as soon as I designed one for Onyx and Gall, and it made something like $2 million in 2 days, everyone was like, holy shit, maybe Erik needs to design my site too. And I think that if you have one good client, it can go a long, long way towards bringing you other good clients.
And, you know, also I think it's important, like Joe was mentioning there, you know, get that attention, get that from social media, but then don't just assume people are going to know why they should do business with you. I mean, tell them, you know, credentialize yourself in different ways so that they understand why they should do that with you. Don't never assume they know the reasons for doing business with you.
Well, and have Alan Bechtold write a book for you. How about that, Alan? Is that too shameless of a plug?
I got to unmute.
Become a celebrity yourself, you know.
Yeah, I love that. A book never hurts, man. I think it all kind of goes to that sort of testimonial case study proof thing, right? Have a good client thing.
Thank you for bringing that up, you and TJ both, because yes, that's true. That's one reason why we do publish books. They are one ultimate authority maker, and I'm sure Joe would even agree with that one, because look what he's done to leverage books. And he actually makes money selling them too, I hear. Not just a business card.
I love books. I'm a bookaholic, but books even have the word author is in the word authority. So if you're looking to stand out from the crowd, being an author on the subject in your field, in your business field, if you write a novel, it may not help your credibility. But if you do write something that's in the field of your expertise, it could really elevate you from the crowd. And I owe a tremendous amount of my success to writing books and what books have done and where books have taken me. I was in the movie The Secret because of a book. I've gone on TV shows because of books. I mean, I can just go on. And for whoever's considering writing a book, they may not know that a book doesn't have to take a long time, it doesn't have to be hard, and you don't even have to do it yourself. But having a book is powerful.
That's perfect point. There's
Hey, Alan, I just got to throw in there. I've read books by TJ before, and one in particular that you actually sent me, TJ, where I read about 75% of this book, and it wasn't until I was almost done that I realized, holy shit, this is a sales letter. This entire book is the sales letter. It's absolutely brilliant. Can you just touch on that a little bit in terms of not only using a book for publicity, but also using it to sell?
I also want to know if Erik is starting a seance, because I just saw.
Yeah, Erik and Alan both.
Going to be inviting dead copywriters to come in and channel things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Welcome to our coven.
I like that light that's behind Erik. It's kind of like a little bit of a red light. I don't know. A lot of well, my printer calls all of my sales letters. He calls them books. So I write long-form sales letters that
There's a reason why I heard Dan Kennedy refer to you as the king of the long-form sales letter, isn't there?
Yeah, you know, Dan Kennedy's got, what does he call it, the multiple readership path. I sort of took that to the extreme, you know. No, when a book is, a lot of my books have just been sales letters. But the prospect can't see that as clearly as you did, Erik. So there's the saving grace right there. They buy in an emotional vacuum, so to say, and they cannot as readily see that. They just see it's all in the packaging, you know, just it's all in the presentation and that kind of thing. Not all of my books are sales letters, but I have done it plenty of times, and it's sort of a way to sneak up on people a little bit. I hate to say it, that might sound too ruthless. Sneaking up on them, but you know, disguising the sales message just a little bit. I don't mean to sound. That does sound ruthless, doesn't it?
I don't think so. People love to hear stories and they hate being sold, and that's why Joe's book made such a big impact on me. I mean, hypnotic writing is just there's a small handful of books I read every year, and that's one of them, and that's why. And I think that your books do a good mix of that, TJ, and I think you're probably right. If I wasn't a marketer and you hadn't sent me the books, I probably wouldn't have picked up on it.
Well, I was going to say that what I see TJ do with his books and his sales letters, it's like wrapping that medicine that you know your dog needs in good tasting meat chunks. You know, you're making something tasty for them to go into and read. You're talking about their needs, their life. How it could be better. You're pulling them in, and all the time they're imagining along with you, and then boom, here's a way to get what you want. Look who we have. Here's a way to get what you want, and the book leads you there. That's one way to do it, and TJ's laid that one out perfectly. We're just about beating this question to death, and it looks like maybe Heather's actually getting ready to. We got video. She's going to be moderating this. This is odd. You know, I remember.
I think we might have video. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
She's broadcast. Look at this. How many people do you know can take over a broadcast?
This is called car casting.
Car casting. I love it.
However, I have parked now, so you won't hear the noise of me driving down the I-15 past the Strip in Las Vegas. So,
well, let me tell you, you're not alone. Heather, I was going to say you're not alone because I do recall a time when Joe was car consulting.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Dan, I'm calling in apparently from Dante's Seventh Circle of Hell. So,
I don't know where you are. That looks horrible. So, all right. So I've heard some of the conversation, a lot of talk around membership sites and some talk around keeping customers, getting new customers. So
getting new customers to a membership. Okay, I'm going to hand it off to you.
The last one was clients. So, but you know, okay, this is all about conversions and sales. So let's kind of go to the basics. These are the questions that I hear people ask, even though no one specifically asked this. But tell us what you expect as a conversion ratio on any sales page that you write for your own product. We're not talking about clients now, we're talking about your own product. And if you're not where you think you should be in terms of conversions on that page, what's the first thing you do to fix that and increase the conversion ratio? So, Joe, what's your answer? I don't hear Joe.
Do you hear me now? Yes,
I
I'm
hear
here.
you now. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
hello. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Nice car. If you had a Rolls Royce, you'd be in the back and you'd have a little table and
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And we wouldn't hear anything but the ticking of the clock, Joe, if she was in a Rolls Royce, right?
David, you're channeling David Ogilvy now. I know where you're coming from with this seance. This is cool. I never know what to expect, and I've been doing this since before it was even called the internet, so I never know. But what
Well, you know what? I just have to say on that point, I've always been a studio girl, and this past week hosting these hangouts, I've been in different locations, and in this one I had to transfer from one location to another during the course of the hangout. So I'm actually learning how to let go of control and being in that controlled environment, and just learning to wing it with whatever I have to work with. So there you go.
Then you started a new trend here. Now we can all do this from our cars. Why am I doing it by sitting here?
I think Frank Kern used to do that. So it was almost cliche for a while. I guess I'm bringing it back with the live version. So yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Joe.
What I would be changing on the website are things like the headline. I would be changing prices. I would be changing offers. I might move the testimonials around. I might play with some graphics. As much as I'm a copywriter, I know that there are such a thing as hypnotic graphics, and they can pull readers in so that they'll pay attention to something that I want to call out in a website or sales letter. So I'll experiment with all of those. The important thing is I'll experiment one at a time. I won't go and dramatically change the entire site with 12 different versions of something. I'll go and change one item, send traffic, see what it does, change something else, and keep experimenting until I lock into something that seems to be working. Just like in the offline world, the big word is testing. And so I still test, online or not. I've got to test everything until I get to a point where it seems like this is as high as I can go. And even then, I might still experiment some more. But testing headlines, offers, prices, graphics, all of those are some things I would be doing.
Just a slight delay, unmuting myself there. Okay, so Joe, what do you expect? What do you expect your conversion ratio to be on one of your sales pages? Are we talking 2%, 10%, 25%?
I don't think he's going to answer that. I don't think you can answer that.
Yeah, thank you. I really can't. In my ideal world, I'm going to tell you the truth. In my ideal world, when I put up a sales letter, I want a 100% conversion. This
okay.
is, I'm a guy who believes in magic. I believe in magic and miracles. This is what I teach. This is that's the law of attraction side of me. And so I will be shooting for a 100%. When I don't get it, I am dramatically disappointed, and that forces me to go back and start experimenting with different offers, headlines, blah, blah, blah. If I get somewhere around 20% of a conversion, I'm probably happy but not satisfied. And that forces me to keep on testing. If you force me to come up with bottom line numbers, I'd probably say 5%.
Okay. All right. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, but you forced me corner.
Of course. You know, people want numbers because when they test their own web pages and their sales letters, they want to know, hey, how am I doing? Is this good? Does this really suck? They need a framework to work from. Yeah, Erik, what?
Sorry, there's a bit of a delay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm doing great. Yeah, the one thing I want to just throw out there for people that might be listening is that, you know, the first product, quote unquote, that I launched in the internet space, the conversions on the sales letter were absolutely horrible. I want to say that they were 1% on a $48.99 product or a $49.95 product. And that was behind a squeeze page or a stick page, and so I would have to send 400 people to a squeeze page that converted at 25% to get 100 of them to a sales letter that I was lucky if it converted at 1%. But I think the important thing here that Joe said is that you got to test. I mean, people rarely hit home runs on the first pitch that's thrown at them. And my copy has been the same. Sometimes I'm very lucky and it does well right out of the gate. And even still then, I split test like crazy. We've probably run 10,000 split tests over the last 10 years. And we're constantly testing and trying to beat our control and make it better. And so it's tough to say. I mean, you can launch a product that absolutely has copy that stinks, but you can split test and have dramatic results with how good the numbers can get.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good answer.
Heather?
So, Michael, yeah.
Yeah, the best thing we can do for the people listening and watching this is tell them to forget about a certain percentage. It really isn't about that percentage on the front end. It's what you do on the back end once you've acquired that client. And so I would be happy to lose money on the front end, not that I like losing money, as long as I've got something on the back end where I can really upgrade these people, upsell these people, help these people. I keep hearing people talk about marketing funnels. I think of it as a marketing experience. These people are making certain behavior choices based upon their thoughts about what I'm offering. And so if I can break even on the front end or even lose money, as long as I have a strong back end, then I'm not concerned about the percentages. Because at the end of the day, it's that bottom line that matters. Have I made $1? Have I really given value to the customer?
Of course, it's the bottom line that matters. However, when we're talking about increasing the bottom line, people need some kind of framework to work from. I mean, Joe's saying 100%. Okay, ultimately, obviously, that's the goal. That's the analogy of shoot for the stars and you might hit the moon. So that's cool. But we know that realistically, most of the time, that's not going to happen. So, this stories about marketers. I think Telman Knudsen said one time that he was getting this certain conversion ratio, and he had no clue that it was really good. He thought it sucked. So, people that are starting out, which is our audience here tonight, they just, they want some kind of framework as to some understanding of where they stand when they're looking at their numbers.
And I think, I think the framework is great for them to have the framework. The problem with us over the years as marketers, we've led people to believe that unless they get a certain percentage, they're failures. When in reality, they are not failures. They have not failed because they don't hit that magic 2%, 5%.
There's no such thing as failure.
No.
Failure is just.
I get 100% response, Heather. I get 100% response from every promotion I do. Half the response, though, unfortunately, or more than half, is no.
Yeah.
You know
or
what?
Silence. Silence. The sound of crickets, right? That's a response.
I'm with the rest of these guys. I think it would be like if someone said, "Hey, what sort of margin should I have on my business?" But I'm not going to tell you what business it is, or what I'm selling, or how much my product costs. It's impossible to answer that question. I think that people.
Right, which is why I said for your own products rather than for a client, because I know that that's the case, and we can't just give a blanket statement for every client out there. However, you guys all sell.
It depends on the audience. It depends on the price point. So it depends on a lot of different stuff, and I'm totally agree.
So Erik, so give me something here. If it's $1,000 price point and it's a coaching service, what would you expect, as opposed to a $27 ebook that anyone can download and read? Give it. What's the comparison? And just ballpark. I mean, we're not looking for 27.5 or something.
So $1,000 online offer for coaching. Is that what you're saying? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's sold online. So what are my costs in terms of getting customers? Like Michael had said, what am I have to spend?
If you're doing paid traffic, then it would be the cost of the traffic. But obviously, you're going to optimize your campaign so that you're making more, which is what conversions is all about. This is why we're talking about the numbers, because when they're paying for their traffic,
Yep. So we've reached the point of the show where I get to become a giant pain in your ass by telling you that it's impossible for me to say. I would launch it, I would get it launched, I would see what the numbers are like, and then I would work to constantly improve them and I'm sorry if that answer doesn't help, but maybe maybe Robert or Joe can delve deeper into this.
But when you're saying constantly improve, you must have a target in mind. You must have
better than my control. The target is better than my current conversions.
Okay, so if you start off at 1%, then you might be aiming for 2%.
Well, like Michael had said, I'm always aiming for 100. Yeah, right. I mean, I've seen upsells, Heather, convert as high as 75%. I've seen sales letters at different price points convert as high as 20 and maybe even 30%. I've seen squeeze pages do 75%, but it all depends on different markets. It all depends on what you're selling, who you're selling to, what you're selling, how you're selling it, and how you're positioning yourself. Guys, are any of you guys feeling me on this? I get the feeling we're all kind of saying the same thing, but I'd love to hear what Robert and Joe have to say about this.
I'm going to go ahead. Joe already answered. Joe already said. Go ahead, Joe.
I would like to add a PS.
Okay, go for it.
Because I have a better sense of where you're coming from, and I really admire how you're hanging on with these questions and you're thinking of the listeners, which has caused me to be...
Well, of course, that's my job. I'm the advocate for the audience. So
You're doing a great job at that. So here's the way I would look at it. I'd reframe the whole thing and start from the other end. If somebody puts up a website, I don't want to be concerned about percentages. I want to be concerned about, did it make a sale? If I am brand new to this, I put up a website, I send some traffic to it, I get a sale, that's cause right there to celebrate. It doesn't matter if it's 1%, 10%, or whatever that number ends up being. The fact that I made a sale means that the website, the ordering mechanism, everything is working. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is then do all the testing to improve the selling. That would go back to what my earlier answer was, which was about looking at the headline, looking at the offer, possibly playing with the price, thinking maybe of adding some bonuses, making up bonuses, giving them an ethical bribe, so to speak, adding the graphics, all of that. But instead of coming from the mindset of, did I hit 2%, did I hit 20%, which is going to trigger a psychological success or failure kind of a mindset, I want to come from, did I make a sale? If I made 1 or 10 or 100, it doesn't matter. I celebrate that, and then I work to increase those sales.
Yeah, okay. I don't agree that that's the success or failure mindset, but I mean, to me, whether I got a sale or not could equally be a success or failure mindset. I think the numbers are more about having a target, having a goal in mind. Like, you don't start walking towards a building if you don't know where approximately it is. I mean, sure, it's one step at a time. That's how we take a journey, but you know kind of what direction you're going in. So that's what I'm trying to establish here. And you just reminded me, Erik, you did not answer the core part of the question, which is what exactly do you do to increase the conversions? Once you have whatever your number is, whatever your results are, you're obviously trying to take it to the next level. What do you change on that sales page to increase the conversions to whatever the next level is?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna mimic what Joe had said. You want to test your headline, you want to test your price points, you want to test your PS, and more importantly, you just want to test. I mean, I was at an event where the person hosting the event asked the audience how many people in this audience split test, and the people that raised their hands, he then said, how many of you are millionaires? And almost all of them were millionaires. Split testing is hugely important, and I'm a creative. I'm a pixel guy. I'm a copy guy. I hate numbers. I hate math. I failed every math class that I ever took, but luckily there's tools out there that make it just extraordinarily easy to test your conversions and test your marketing. And that would be what I would say is start with your headlines, start with your price points and your PSs. And I'd love to hear what Michael and Robert and TJ have to say about this. But I would say
I think Michael answered, but I'd like to hear from Robert, actually. Go for it, Robert.
Good. This is the question that is the bane of all marketing. We hate, as marketing consultants, to hear this question.
However, it's an important question.
It is, but it is a strange question to answer because clients will come to you and say, okay, we're going to pay you $5,000 for consulting, and what can I expect as a conversion rate? I.e., what's the guarantee? Right? That's what they're really asking for. And I think in marketing, it really is. pains me to say it, but for a lot of times, it is unrefined. It is sort of a test. We talk of marketing. I always talk about it. I say marketing is a French word, and what it really means is testing, and that means we don't really know what's going to happen. It's the same reason they call doctors, they're in practice, right? They're in professional practice because they don't really know what's going to happen. They'll give you this drug or that drug. Is it going to cure the cancer? We don't know. Let's give it a shot.
Okay,
see what happens.
They make their recommendations from a basis, a foundation of knowledge, which hopefully you do as well, or else, where clients paying you to help them increase their conversions, if you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just pretend there's some solid knowledge here that you have that will allow you to make certain educated guesses that will increase conversion, because this is what this whole Hangout's all about. It's about increasing conversions.
Right.
So
right.
if
So
we're going to say we
think...
don't know, then we kind of don't really have a show.
Yeah, the Hangout's about increasing conversions, but it's not about increasing them by a certain percentage. It's about increasing conversions, but not by a certain percentage. And we do a lot of SEO at our agency, and we never will guarantee someone that we're going to get them into the top spot on Google, because I feel that it's unethical, and also there's just way too many variables. It depends on the competition. It depends on the market. It depends on how we market it. It depends on their budget, their organic budget. And so it's kind of like saying, yes, it's a call about conversions. It's not a call about specific numbers. I never guarantee clients specific numbers, and I would guess everyone on this call would feel the same way.
Yeah, that's why I framed it from the standpoint of, with your own products and your own sales pages, what do you expect from yourself? Because we all have our own
benchmark.
Our own benchmark. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, I just love what Joe said too about testing, because I studied Ted Nicholas as well, and that man is a testaholic. He whatever percentage he gets, he always considers that as control. And now I'm out to beat it. So, again, what you can look at there sometimes is it's going to increase percentages, but not necessarily by a set number. It is like practicing medicine in a way. I can't guarantee what percentage I can increase it, but I'm here to increase your conversion. I expect... I'm like Joe. I always put out something just thinking, boy, 100% is sweet. That's a great response. No one's ever going to see it, but damn, TJ taught me a long time ago. You aim for the stars, and you might just hit the treetops.
Well, I said hit the moon, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And the bottom line to me is that. And Erik said it right too. It depends on the product, the price point, the service, the clientele, everybody you're aiming at. But the key is to increase conversions. Always look to increase. I've had sales conversions as high, like Erik said. I've had some things sell 30, 40, 50% when I mail it out. But it doesn't always happen that way. A lot of times that 40% was reached by starting at 3% and tweaking the headline and changing. You were asking what to change. You change everything if you need to. Be
all
willing.
At once?
No.
All at once?
Never.
Or one at a time? Okay.
Never. Yeah, you always want to do one incremental change at a time, or multiple ones going on at the same time on incremental changes, if you get my gist. But I've seen a different color headline change conversion up or down. I've seen moving the headline halfway down where it's just above the fold. You know what I mean? By it's closer to the bottom of your screen versus the top, changing conversion.
Okay, give us one example. What color did you change it to, and what changed as far as conversion goes?
A red.
I can give some specific examples to that as well if it helps.
Good, that would help.
It helps. Of course it helps.
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. And Erik's going to be he's a color master. Let me tell you.
So a dark red, a burgundy, we've managed to increase conversions on different pages in different markets anywhere from 5 to 25% just by changing the headline color to a really rich, really burgundy sort of red. Changing your guarantee.
What did it start out with? What was it before? A bright red or a blue?
From any color that it may happen to be. I mean, I'm talking from my split test book where I document all my split tests, and I don't have it in front of me, but whatever color it is, changing it to a burgundy, a really dark red, seems to help in multiple markets. 365-day guarantees seems to help in almost every market I've tested it in, from survival niche to all sorts of different random stuff that we've sold over the years. Pet clothing, anywhere from 5 to, I would say, 11 or 12%. And I really should have pulled out my conversion book, but we're just back. So I apologize. We're just back from a trip. Adding video instructions to your thank you pages and to your order pages. Adding trust symbols, authorized.net, VeriSign, 128-bit encryption, Better Business Bureau symbols, hacker safe symbols, or trust E symbols. From readability standpoint, Arial 12 seems to work best for body copy for us, and that can improve conversions anywhere from 10 to 25%. So those are all different things just off the top of my head. Adding padding around the edges of your pages, if you're doing online marketing, can help enormously as well.
Okay, cool. Now we're getting something concrete. This is really good. All right, so TJ, I'd like to hear from you. What do you do to increase conversions specifically?
Okay, my best idea. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you. There you are.
Okay, my best idea is to, because again, I'm a copywriter, so I play with the offer itself. You know, the difference between one offer and another can just be amazing. Earlier, I talked about this new offer that we have where it's an expensive package, but we're offering, as soon as they tell us that they want to take a risk-free look, we're throwing 2 first-class air tickets, round-trip first-class airplane tickets. A lot of people have never even flown first class. They live frugally. They never want to splurge on themselves that way. I mean, you know, just mess with the offer. And change the price. Sell stuff for more money. You know, those are my best things. I love everything everybody else said.
TJ, I'm so glad you mentioned raise the price. That is something I've tested, and I can tell you every test I've ever done where I raise the price, it lowers conversions, but it almost always increases the revenue, almost without fail. So
well,
again,
Alan, that's a good point, because one of the things that I got thrown off a little bit ago, so somebody else might have already said this, but to me, the whole thing is just about return on investment, and that's all I ever care about. It's all I've ever cared. Sometimes I feel like people are trying to micromanage all of this too much when they could be spending that same amount of time developing new offers, new products, new services, and just worried about return on investment. You know, all I ever want to do is just spend $1 and try to make $3 or $4 back as fast as I can. And if I can do that, then I don't spend a whole lot of time testing and tweaking that offer. I just move on to something else. But again, that might be something that a lot of the listeners just don't find very attractive.
Well, you know, a lot of people say spend $1, make $2 is the goal. So would you be happy with that, or are you testing and tweaking at that point?
Oh, I'm more than happy to double my money. Yeah, I am. I mean, I'd love to turn $1 into 3 or 4, but man, if I can just double my money, I mean, I'm as long as I can.
Wrong with that, right?
it's kind of funny when you think about it, hearing someone talk like this. It's like, you know, when you talk to a group of investors and they can't even imagine doubling their money.
Yeah.
And we're looking at that as, okay, I can accept that. That's the power of this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. You know.
Double is okay.
All right, so we're just past the halfway mark, and at this point, Zane Miller likes to come in, give us a word from our sponsor, give us a little bit of housekeeping stuff. So let's have a commercial from Zane.
Zane actually has got microphone problems. He just went wonk wonk
then
in the chat.
Let's have a commercial from Alan.
Yeah, Alan will take the little commercial break. This is,
right, cool.
I just want to remind everybody you're watching the Fantastic 40. And if you haven't been on here so far, you've missed an incredible party. We're just really getting heated up.
Hey, Alan?
Yes.
I just want to point out that this entire event would not be possible without LifePath Books and also InVids. Both very excellent companies that you should probably talk a little bit about.
Absolutely, yes. LifePath Books, we've kind of talked about that already. That's one of the sponsors here. That's why I'm here. My company, we specialize in getting books published from beginning to end, anywhere in the middle, for busy executives, entrepreneurs, people like you watching. A book is incredibly powerful, and as Joe pointed out earlier, a lot of people don't realize you don't even necessarily have to write the book. We have that. You want to just talk into, do an interview? We've got a team of writers, 150 writers as a matter of fact, that will turn that into your book. And I personally edit every book we publish. We're working on number 24 right now. We've got the experience under our belt. We've got the client list, and you need to be one of them. Check us out, lifepathbooks.com, invids.com. They've got an incredible offer they're going to be making to everybody come tomorrow, as a matter of fact. But this is a new video marketing platform that enables you to take videos from virtually any source and implant in that video such a broad array of calls to action right in the video that are clickable that it just boggles my mind. You can set it up so that people fill out a form right on the video. It stops while you're answering it. It can ring your phone. It can and make call me. It's you got an appointment setter you can tie into. You can tie into your AWeber account and literally send a video with calls to action built into the video to your whole mailing list. It's a link in there, and it comes up full HD, full screen video. And the calls to action are incredible because the fact they're going, the nonprofit market is loving it. But I mean, you can grab, if you were an affiliate marketer, you can literally grab a YouTube video, put it into InVids, plug in your own calls to action to your link with your affiliate link, and sell using the company's videos. There's never been anything quite like it. You can use it on Facebook. You can use it. You can actually sell from videos that you post on Vimeo. I mean, how many people are doing this? So I want you to check them out. It's invids.com, and they've got an offer that I can leak that they are literally, and you hear this all the time, they really, really are looking for some free people to sign up. And hopefully they're going to work with you to provide case studies of following through a system they've got that will turn you into an affiliate marketer with the videos they've got in a heartbeat. So I just wanted to point out that. Thank them all for making this possible. I want to thank Heather for hanging in here and even coming in to moderate this from her car. And with that, I think we'll just get started, go back into the second half of this amazing session.
Awesome. Okay. So this question you guys might like it, you might hate it. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I'm just going to read it. This is from a guy named Rainer in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany. And he wants to know, he says the biggest problem for him is to find the right niche or product for the best conversions. That's all it says, so I'm going to let you take it where you want to go. Let's see.
I got it.
Let's start with Michael. Okay, wait, someone's got it. Who's that?
I'm gonna throw it in there because somebody else is gonna say it. So look, here it is. It's something that I hate. All you guys probably hate this. It's that dirty, nasty, filthy word called testing. It's just something that we all can't stand, or at least I can't stand it. Maybe you guys love it, but it takes time, work, effort, and energy. But if I just want that guarantee. That question just sounds like, hey, just tell me what the best thing to sell is, or just tell me what the best offer is. I mean, you gotta test all of these things. That's my 2 cents. Would love to hear what everybody else has to say.
Can I add something, Heather?
Yeah, go for it, Alan.
Okay, I was just going to say, to me, the best offer is usually one that I would buy, and if I can buy the product and I would be the customer, that's a good one to sell, because at least I can. It's the easiest market research on earth. TJ, you've always pointed out to me, you made a lot of money in the business opportunity market, in the home business market. Why? Because you're one of those people. You can do your market research in the mirror. Just wanted to point that out too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Heather.
There was someone else who started.
Yeah, Heather. What TJ said,
oh, there you go.
I would say absolutely. And I would eavesdrop on people's conversations in restaurants when you're shopping. Listen to what people are talking about, and look in, what's trending. Look at those markets, those niches, and build around that. There's no here's the product, you'll get rich. You've just got, as TJ said, you've got to test. It all comes down to testing. We all want it easy.
See, I'm kind of surprised at your answers, because usually when this question comes up with a group of internet marketers, the answer tends to be go with your passion, go with something you enjoy, because you can't just randomly pick a product just because it happens to be making somebody else money. So, it's the whole passion versus profit argument. You guys are all on the profit side. Usually I have more people on the passion side. So
yeah, I'm on the passion side.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, are you a dog person or a cat person, Heather?
I love them both.
Yeah, so most people either like one or the other, and if I were a dog person, there's no way in God's green earth I'd ever build a dog site, even if someone told me the conversions were amazing. If I was a cat person, I would steer well clear of the dog niche, because I'm not a dog guy, and it's going to ring false, and I'm not going to be happy. If I hate dogs, I'm not going to be happy creating products, creating ads, writing marketing, writing emails about dogs. And so I'm definitely one of the passion guys.
That was the whole gist of my book, Will Work for Fun, which I still have to completely say constantly. I hate the title because there's work in the title. But the point is that the problem is this is work. It's real work. And if you're not passionate about it, how are you going to keep it up every day? Because there's no boss yelling at you to do it. You got to do it. There's got to be a reason why. And one of the biggest motivators I know is you love this stuff. I'm crazy about it.
And then if you love what you do, you never work a day again in your life. Yeah.
I haven't worked in years.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's take another question here. Well, you know what? This is similar. However, it's more specific in the way she asked it. So it's Laura Mercer from Toronto, Canada. Hey, it's my old hometown. And she wants to know, how do I choose the right items to sell or promote being an affiliate? So maybe in this case, more some strategies on finding just products in general that she can sell as an affiliate. How about Robert?
We're all jumping on that one. Go, Robert.
I think everyone's just thinking about their answer and wondering what they should be saying here. It goes back to what Heather was saying before. It's like you've got to find something, A, that you're passionate about, and B, that you have an affinity for. The truth of the matter is I could sell an iPhone because I love an iPhone, right? So I could be an affiliate of Apple if there were such a thing. I could sell it because I could be an advocate for it. And I think a lot of people will look to you and say, okay, if you're the one promoting this product or service, let's see how you're experiencing it. So my criteria for that, number one, is I have to be a customer of the company. I have to buy their product. I have to use their product. If I love the product, then I feel comfortable going out and being an affiliate of it. A lot of people just say, well, I just want to make money with the affiliate programs. And it really is hard to do that if you can't share any information, if you can't share your own experience, if they can't look to you as an example of what to expect. It becomes difficult to do that. So it's easiest, and I think you'd be most successful promoting the things that you love and promoting the things that you actually use. And I learned a lot from Lee.
I get the idea that she's not actually asking about what niche to get involved in this case. It's a little different from the question. She's more asking if she has her niche, she has her passion already. Let's say it's personal development, just to pull out a big niche. So she's into that, and she's looking for products she can promote that are in alignment with what she's already passionate about. So where does she go to find those high-converting personal development products, for example? Or training, if we're going to go with the old cliche, whatever it is.
Well, it's easy in a marketplace, especially in a niche, because you always look for the top-selling product. And there's two criteria that I use when I'm looking for affiliate products to promote in a specific area. Number one is, what are the best-selling products? And number two is, what's the payment plan like? In other words, are they paying just for the lead? They've been paying 20 cents, 50 cents, $1 a lead. They may be paying, like Audible.com, for instance, will pay you $15 every time you send them somebody for a free trial. That's pretty good. I could deal with that. But it's not really my favorite kind of affiliate program. My favorite kind of affiliate program are the guys who pay you, and don't ask me how this business model works, because it doesn't make any sense to me, but they'll pay you for the life of the client. They'll pay you every single month for the life of the client. You find this with web hosting. You find this in, shopping carts and things that, where people are paying a monthly fee to be part of it or remain a member of it. And those are my criteria. I really love to see those payments for life kind of programs, because if I'm going to put the effort out there, I might as well be getting paid long term rather than just a one-off situation. So two things: find the top sellers, and number two, choose by how you're getting paid. If you're comfortable with $15 for like an Audible.com, that's great. You can go ahead and do that. I prefer to be paid ongoingly for the life of the customer.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone have experience with either CPA networks or ClickBank or some other platform like ClickBank, maybe Deal Guardian, whatever the ones that are out there now? Does anyone have experience going in there and looking at the different offers and figuring out which ones are converting best for other affiliates? You can share some strategies there. Erik, you must have done this.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of ClickBank stuff in the last couple of years, but I know that we used to look for products that had a high gravity and a low refund rate, which really is just kind of common sense. I love what Robert had said, and just to build on that, what I would say is when we do build affiliate campaigns, we really like to build them to kind of be long-term money streams, and so we'll buy a domain name instead of just kind of doing a redirect or building direct links into our emails or our promotions, because that way, if the product does disappear, if the affiliate goes offline, if they turn out to be a jerk and they don't want to pay their affiliates or whatever that may be, you can really just kind of update one little link and all of your marketing is still sound. So you're not writing a bunch of marketing that's going to disappear if an affiliate goes offline. So that would be my tip, and I think a lot of people get hung up on sort of this affiliate marketing and JV sort of thing. JV can mean many, many, many different things, as Mr. Penland will tell you. Just like affiliate marketing can mean many, many, many different things. We have a couple clients that we just specifically drive leads for on a rev share basis, and that's sort of affiliate marketing. It's just not. Right, so I would just recommend people to kind of just stay open-minded about it. Alan, do you want to add to that?
There's industries where if you came to them with the term affiliate marketing, that you just get nothing but a blank stare. And a joint venture partnership, they'd understand. I've always felt that affiliate marketing is the probably the most basic form of joint venture. And they expand outward from there. It's a, hey, sign up, we'll pay you when you sign someone up. But I'll tell you the ones I like. I love the multiple recurring revenue affiliate programs that tie to my theme. But you want to find something, and we talked about this earlier, with pain of disconnect. It's paying you by the month, and it's something that the people have that it's going to be a significant issue to stop consuming. That's like vitamins. Some of these, it's not pain of disconnect per se, but I've seen monthly shipping on those. And you want to find like those kinds of products. What was that one guy that sold sockscriptions in England? Because the average businessman in England always wears black socks. And so he came up with the idea of a monthly shipment of your black socks because they're always wearing out. and sales were just incredible. And he had an affiliate program. And these guys will not live without their black socks. That'll screw them up socially for life.
Nice.
So, yeah, coffee is another one. It's an addictive drug, guys, and it's legal to sell it. I'm addicted. I'm speaking from experience here. So if you've got a monthly shipment plan, that's far better than saying I'm going to sell a bag of coffee. How about 3 bags, 4 bags a month? It's far better. It's automatic. So I always look for that pain of disconnect. That's why hosting is so popular. It may even pay you a small, tiny fee every month, but what a pain to drop it. And cell phone service used to be that pain of disconnect till the legal people said, hey, they got to be able to transfer their phone numbers because they had you tight for a while. You want to cancel this service, you'll lose your phone number. But you want to look for that kind of thing, and there's more and more people innovatively adding a subscription, which, by the way, is one of the best ways in the world to increase conversions, repeat conversion, in your own sales of whatever you're creating, your programs. And monthly, that's why the membership sites is such a popular and workable item if you've got it. It just takes more work to fulfill it. But as an affiliate, those are the things I look for.
Okay. Michael, did you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I did.
I bet.
Unmuted. Yeah, I would,
Okay.
you know, maybe different than the others. I would find the market first. Somebody that's hungry for something in a particular niche or market, then find the product for that market. A lot of people go looking for a product to promote, and they know very little about the market there, or about, you know, how big it is, how small it is, this or that. So I would look for the market first and either create a product or find an affiliate program that has a product specific to that market.
Yeah, okay. I think that's in line with what everyone else said too. So cool. All right, let's see what else we've got here.
Hey Heather,
Heidi.
can I throw something at you real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. As an affiliate.
Well, not literally.
Right.
Don't literally throw something at me. Yeah. No.
I don't think the internet works that way.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay.
yeah, I would just say that as an affiliate as well, I would look for really clever middleman opportunities. And I'm not sure if TJ's call dropped again or not, but he may be able to speak to this. But, you know, as an example, say there's a local pet store and they don't sell pet training. You may be able to create a postcard for that pet store, and you say to them, hey, look, you know, if I can increase your revenues and bring you some cash, will you split it with me? You may be able to create a postcard and just sell, you know, a pet training ebook through ClickBank, through your affiliate link, or through their affiliate link, and then track it and split it, or whatever it may be. But there's a lot of, like Alan had said, there's a lot of offline businesses and a lot of people that when you say affiliate or affiliate program, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And if you've been on some email lists and you've learned a bit about marketing, chances are you know a lot more than you're giving yourself credit for. And you might be able to approach like a local cigar bar, for example, and tell them, hey, look, we can help you monetize your out-of-state buyers. You may be able to approach a pet store and tell them, look, we can help you monetize here for a small percentage of the profits. And so that's essentially affiliate marketing still, but it's just a little bit of a twist on it.
Actually, it's affiliate marketing, but if you present it to them as a no risk, I'm going to assist you with your marketing with no risk to you financially, unless I sell more. That's a gorgeous thing, and they won't stare at you blankly when you make that offer.
Yeah, those are some good ideas. Most people don't think of that kind of approach, so that's awesome. So here's a more specific question. This comes from Ersto from Mexico. And he says, I'm in the emotional healing business, so as a coach I can't guarantee results, which would help conversions. Any ideas for getting around this? Which kind of goes back to what a few people were saying before. Let's get specific. All right, yeah, let's test.
Yeah, testimonials. And please put me in touch with it, because after the grilling you gave me about specific conversions numbers, I could use some emotional healing.
Heather, I have a suggestion for them.
Okay.
I would really play up, you know, it's a life-changing experience, not, you know, healing per se, but a life-changing experience, because that's all, you know, relative to how the person's thinking about it. If anything changes in their life, then they're happy. If they can see, like Erik mentioned, the testimonials from people, then they can connect with those, and whatever little thing that changes in their life, they're going to be happy with. I mean, I've used that for a lot of years. This is going to be a life-changing event. This is a life-changing course, life-changing training. Well, life-changing is kind of relative to the person, so I just use the terminology to help them have their own experience in that regard.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Maybe there's some other ways he could also come up with to say it so that he's not using the same phrase again. But yeah, that's. Let's hear from. Is TJ still here, or TJ? I don't hear him. All right, Robert, what do you think?
Well, being a coach, it hits close to home. The best conversion tool that I've used for coaching is video testimonials, and all of us today have a video camera in our pockets, but no matter where we go, we have these things with us. There's no reason in the world why, if you're running into a client at a seminar or at a meeting or something, that you can't take them aside and stick a camera in their face, literally, and do a quick testimonial. Failing that, second best would be to get testimonials from clients over the telephone. I actually hired Mike Lamb to do that. You guys know Mike Lamb, the host of the Money Room show, and I had him call my customers and have a conversation with them. And what he was able to do was elicit from them their experience in working with me as a coach, and those are posted on my website, and that just makes a huge difference in terms of helping people sign up as a for coaching with me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Is TJ back? I think I saw him briefly. TJ? And we lost Joe too, didn't we? This is a good question for Joe. All right, well, maybe we'll come back to TJ. Back? He keeps popping in and out. All right, let's go to another question then. This is from Heidi from Orem, Utah. Will you please share with us the most powerful new conversion trends for marketing online and for network marketers? So looking for any kind of new strategies that are working today that maybe people weren't using 5 to 10 years ago. Anyone have any of those?
In a word, video sales letters. That's been the big trend recently that's been working more than anything else. I think, because we're in a mobile world and we were in the information age back in the 90s. I think we became, in the 2000s, we got into the information overwhelm age. And I think right now what we're looking at is people just aren't reading anymore. And so we have to really turn to what the promise of the internet has always been, a multimedia medium. And we're finally there. We're finally arrived at a point where, yes, that's what it is, and we all have the ability now to put videos up and do Hangouts and things like this. It just makes a huge difference in terms of bringing people in. And really, the old days we used to say, well, we could hide behind our P.O. boxes, right? And in the 90s we'd say, well, we can hide behind our email boxes. And now with social media, we know darn well we can't do that anymore, because everyone knows everything what we're doing up until the last minute. Just follow us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or something like that. So it's a more personality-driven marketplace today than it ever has been. And I think the number one thing that we can do is really harness that, rather than run from it and try to shy away from it. Is get in front of the camera, get in front of the microphone, and start talking. Start really talking to people, your prospects, about why they should be doing business with you. And that, to me, is the biggest trend, and that's really what's got my fire lit, as you can tell, more than anything else right now, is really just looking at this world of new media.
Okay, do you have any specific case studies or examples you can share with us where you tested a text sales letter versus a video sales letter?
I don't have any specific numbers for you, but I can tell you from from the testing that I've done so far with myself and also with my clients, the video sales letters work a whole lot better. Also, rather than giving away ebooks, we're talking about lead generation. Rather than giving away the carrot, always been, oh, the ebook. Yeah, that was great back in 1997 when ebooks really were not that popular. Today, what I'm finding, what works the best for me more than anything, is to give away a video series, to give away 7 videos of how to do blah, 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 whatever it is that you're doing, but they have to enroll. They have to give you your email address and a first name, and then you put them into that system where you trickle out that video series, 1 video per day, and that seems to be the highest converting things that I've got going on right now. That has been doing the best for my business.
Okay. Anyone else have some powerful new conversion trends that you want to share?
You know, I'll just add on to what Robert said. You know, there's some people on the panel tonight who are just incredibly magnetic in person and have an enormous amount of sales experience in person. And, you know, I'm one of those guys. I really like to be able to shake someone's hand and look them in the eyes. But with the Internet, it's quite different. And if you're selling on the Internet, it's very difficult to establish that rapport. And there's a lot of people that kind of crave that handshake and that look in the eye. And so video is incredibly powerful. And if you're not comfortable on video, try audio, because anything you can do to kind of break down the barriers and make yourself much more real is going to have a positive impact on your conversions, whether it's just adding a photo of yourself to your sales page so that they can see you visually rather than just reading. It's like Robert said, it's called multimedia for a reason, right? Utilize the multimedias. And if you can't use video, use audio if you're not comfortable on camera, but people really like to know who they're dealing with. And I think video is a great way to accomplish that.
Another tip I was going to say is if you're uncomfortable on video, hire someone like Heather.
Yeah, you can do that. It won't help the audience get to know them, but you'll have a good video at least.
Yes. TJ?
I just think sure, Heather, you can do all my videos for me. I'd love that. I'd love that. No, it's all about relationship building. It's about putting yourself out there and letting people know who you are, what you're all about, why they should pay attention to you. I mean, the main subject, I guess, the commonality tonight is all about conversions, and that's the only way that I know of is how to get conversions. You know, I like what Erik was saying a little bit ago. If video freaks you out, just use audio. But whatever. I mean, you've got to let people feel the force of your personality. You've got to. I know it's an old thing. Okay, you can find this in books that are 50 years old. But people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. I know everybody's heard that. That's as old as the hills. But you know, you really have to put yourself out there. I see a lot of internet marketers that are, for whatever reason, they are just afraid to tell their story. They're afraid to express themselves in the fullest way. Why is that, guys? I mean, I'd like to hear from all the panel on that. You know, throw it back. I want to know from you guys. Why do you guys feel like so many people have issues with that kind of thing?
It's scary. It can be frightening because maybe people won't like me. You know, everybody wants to be liked, and what people forget, and you better get over it if you're in this business now, because like Erik pointed out, there was a day, or Robert pointed out, there was a day when you could hide behind your email. You didn't have to step out from behind it because that was all we had. But today you've got to be willing to step out, make that connection, and be real. And believe it or not, I tell a lot of my clients this, the minute you step out and really start sharing you, there's some people that aren't going to like you. Get over it, because the ones that do are now going to like you all the more.
Yeah, so, Michael said it perfectly. He said he wants 100% response rate on all of his sales letters, but unfortunately a percentage of those are going to be no. And that's so true, man. You're starting to talk about branding, which is something that is near and dear to my heart. And the people that have success aren't afraid to be black or white. They're not gray. They're not towing the middle line. You know, you think about your Rush Limbaughs and your Howard Sterns and people that aren't afraid to piss some people off. And, you know, you are going to connect with other people that are really going to resonate with your message because it's unique. And, Robert, it looks like you want to add on.
As he's getting his mic up there, Robert, just as you're getting your mic ready, go ahead. Just stay ready. I was just going to point out the one thing I always loved that Dan Kennedy used to say. If I haven't pissed a lot of people off by 11 a.m., I'm not working hard enough.
Yeah.
And Dan Kennedy's a great example.
Yes.
You know, he was when I first started following Dan. It was back in 1989. And I remember his story, and he's a kid that grew up and had this horrible stuttering problem. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, this guy's in front of the audience. He's a speaker now. How in the world did that happen, right? So a lot of people say, well, I don't want to step out in front of a camera. I don't want to step out in front of a microphone. I'm scared to death of that. And then what I often encourage them to do is look for examples of people who were worse off than you who were actually able to do it. And honestly, that's what really helped me, because I was terrified as a kid of being in front of an audience. I wouldn't stand in front of two people. I'd be nervous, right? And my very first public speaking event was in front of 1,900 people on stage with Tony Robbins. And, of course, I don't remember anything because it was terrifying at that moment. But after the audience started clapping and I started to feel that energy, I said, I could get addicted to this. And it really changed my mindset on it. And it really isn't until you step out onto that stage and do it that you can recognize that really it's not as hard as it is. Now, a lot of people tell me, I have a fear of public speaking. And I said, of course you do. You went to school. And I said, probably in school, they put you in front of the classroom and they said, here you go, Alan. I want you to talk for 15 minutes on this topic that you know nothing about, could care less about. And, if anybody asks you a question, you'll be terrified because you don't know how to answer the question. This is how we teach them public speaking. Now, when I have people in my audiences who are afraid of public speaking, I ask them to come up, and I hand them the microphone, and I say, tell me about the last vacation you took and how much fun you had. Often I have to go flip the microphone switch off to get them to stop talking. And I said, you know what, you just spent 15 minutes public speaking. How did it feel? Really? I didn't even notice. And that's exactly what it was for me. It was exactly that. I said, I've got to stop talking about topics I have no passion for and really got to find things that I really enjoy speaking about. And all of a sudden, public speaking is, can I find 10 places to speak this week? It's completely shifted it for me. And really, the other thing that I tell a lot of speakers who, haven't done this a whole lot and they're really nervous or something before they get on stage, I said it's absolutely normal. And I remember the story of Bruce Springsteen. And Bruce Springsteen would say, if I don't feel the butterflies in my stomach, I know I'm not ready to go on stage. And it's absolutely true. You have to feel the, the nervousness a little bit because it really is a signal to your body that we're about to do something important here. And, you have to be at your full attention to be able to do this. And I have found that there are times when I don't have any bit of butterflies or anything, those presentations are the worst. And the last thing that I'll leave you with before I hand over the mic here, I'm hogging it a little bit and I apologize. The last thing I would leave you with is recognize that the speaking really isn't about you. This has nothing to do with me right here. This is all about the audience and delivering content to them and really caring about them. And when you can literally, in your mind, take the spotlight off you and turn it around and put it back on the audience, all the fear goes away. And it's an amazing mind shift that really happens, and it just makes it so much easier to get up on stage or get up in front of a microphone or stand in front of a camera and deliver your message. You recognize I'm here as a servant for those people who are out there in my audience. I'm here to serve them. And that's how I approach it. So I'll turn the mic over to somebody else now.
Oh, when it comes to public speaking, I was going to point out the other thing I love to remind myself is that here's what I thought was so crazy when I started speaking in public was when I realized that everyone in that audience would rather be dead than doing what I'm doing just now, stepping on this stage. And because of that, they are already in awe of you the minute you step up there. What's to be afraid of? The other thing to remember, and this works with video, audio, whatever you're doing, the other thing to remember is, what are you afraid of? I'm afraid I'm going to screw up. I'm afraid I'm going to fall down and look stupid. But believe it or not, actors do this all the time. Stage actors, they make mistakes every day. It's recovery. It's all about the recovery. If you can knock over the podium, TJ, if you can knock over the podium and the microphone and have to reboot your computer because it's all crashed while you're doing that, get up, brush yourself off, look at the audience, and go, hey, I practiced that for weeks, and go on,
Yeah, you know what I would add to that, Alan, is that, if you look at Robert's website, right, he's got a ton of video, he's got a ton of audio, he's got a video tab filled with videos, or at least he used to. I would guess his first videos sucked. And I had mentioned earlier, my first sales letter sucked. And I would guess TJ's first direct mail piece probably, well, maybe it didn't suck because he's really good at direct mail, but it probably wasn't as good as it could have been. And so I guess what I would just say to people is, you know, anything you try the first time, you may suck a little, but, you know, keep at it, and it's going to get better and better and better and better. It always does, right? Practice. Practice makes anything better.
You're not gonna get better not doing it because you're afraid of trying. John Dumas, podcast king right now. I love the story he tells about how he set himself up for daily podcasts, and he's interviewing other people. And he said, I knew going into it, I don't know anything about radio or audio or podcasting or anything else. And I was scared crapless because I knew I'm going to suck. And he says, you know what? I've listened to the first 50 I did because I was doing a daily show. I failed quickly. The first 50 were horrible, but they were less and less horrible. And by the time I got to that 50 mark, they were pretty good. It's just amazing, and you just got to start. And I wanted to bring up another quick point. Because of the social media pressure we have today, we need to be out there. You were saying Robert's got all these videos and audios on there. You think anybody's going to leave that website not knowing more about him and feeling like there's a connection? It's worth every minute of it. It's worth every butterfly.
Yeah, he used to. I don't know if he still does, but I'm guessing he still does. Robert, do you still have a videos tab on your website?
Yeah, I wouldn't do away with that. RobertImbriale.com. I have all my videos up on there. And Alan, I'll speak to that topic because one of two things are going to happen. Either people give you the thumbs up and say, I love you, or people say, I hate the way you speak, I don't like your cadence, I don't like your message, and I'll never see them again. And I'm fine with that. It used to bother me like crazy. But I'm fine with it because I recognize that that's not my audience. I look for those people who love what I have to say or can connect with my message. And, you know, if they are that person, then that's the person I'm here to serve. The rest of them, you know, love them on their way, as they say.
I'll quote Michael Penland. I heard it from him a lot. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Yeah, that's a good one. Guys, I'm going to have to jump off this call. I already lost my laptop connection. I'm on my phone now. But, you know, we're almost at the top of the hour, and at this point we usually go to...
I lost my sound. Is anybody else hearing me?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, Heather is trying to speak. We're not hearing Heather.
I hear Alan, too. We hear everyone.
Do you hear me? All right. Guys, we're almost at the top of the hour at the end of the show.
I see Heather talking, but I don't hear her.
Yeah, okay. We're not getting Heather's audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a great smile, though.
Great smile. Oh, I was going to say, let me make a point while Heather's getting her sound straightened away there. The other point I was going to make, if you are just horribly uncomfortable on audio and video, at least play to the trend. The people want to get to know you. One way to do that, in your copy, on the site, photos. One of my favorite copywriters, Drew Kaplan, I used to study him all the time. He told the story of how he found the product, how he loaned it to his friend or his neighbor, and then I had to go buy another one because they would never return it. They loved it so much. And, I mean, he made it personal, and you heard about his daughter taking it to her room and trying it, and it worked great, and she won't give me one back. I had to go buy another one. And, I mean, I just read these stories, and I heard I got to know him and what he liked about it. And you can put yourself into it that way to start. But definitely start out with audio, even if you're afraid of video, because you know what I love about audio? It's one way that you are inside their head. It's so incredible. So you're actually inside this person's head. They're usually listening on headphones these days or some other way, but you're talk about entering the conversation with audio and video. You are the conversation.
Well, and people will listen to audio. You know, the video it does have some limitations. It's got strengths too, but people will listen to audio a lot longer because you know, they don't have to be behind a screen. You know, they can take it with them. You know, in various, even on their cell phone, they can listen to it on their cell phone. And I like that, Alan. You're inside people's head. You're connecting with people, and basically all you're doing is, I've heard other people talk about it on this panel already. You're just putting it all out there to them. It's all about them. It's all about you and your ability to understand them and know what turns them on and how to give them what they want the most. But beyond that, it's a performance at some level. I mean, that's the only thing I know about conversions, really, is just to try to develop relationships with people, and audio is an amazing way to do that.
I'm going to ask another question because Heather's not here, and we're just about 10 minutes away from the top of the second hour already. My, how the time flies when we're doing this. It's always such fun. And I've got one that's a really good question. I bet we can really fill in the people with on a little bit here. Steve in Illinois, Princeton, Illinois, asked, how do I create the content for email follow-up messages to my list that convert to sales? Anybody want to address that one?
I might know a thing or two about this, but I'd love to hear what the rest of the panel has to say as well.
You think?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I will ask it one more time then. How? Where was that one? Okay. How do I create the content for email follow-up messages to my list that will convert to sales?
Oh, well, no, I got a fast idea for you. I mean, you just have to try to stay whatever's current, that kind of thing, entering the conversation in their brain. Earlier this week, just to give you an example, and I know I'm kind of dating this, but when Robin Williams passed on, I saw a lot of
wait, Robin Williams died? How did I not hear about that?
You hadn't heard about that? You're not kidding?
Yeah.
Go ahead, TJ. I'm sorry. I
was wondering if you were serious or not. No, I saw a lot of emails came in with about him and stuff like that. So entering the conversation in people's minds, like that would be one great idea.
TJ, do you send?
Looks like Michael's ready.
TJ, do you send sequences of direct mail pieces to people, or is it mostly one-off stuff? Is it a conversation, multi-email, right? Multi-touch, right?
Oh yeah, it's just like with a salesperson. The best salespeople, like I'm looking at one right now, Mr. Michael Penland, relentless, man. They are relentless. The best salespeople just don't give up on people. If you've got a product or service that delivers, and it really does deliver on the promises that you're telling people it delivers on, then you should look at it like you're doing people a disservice if you're not just doing everything possible, assuming that you know that they're qualified prospective buyers too. But you're doing them a disservice if you don't do everything possible to make that sale. Right, Michael?
Absolutely. And I tell you, guys, one of the best ways to do when you're doing your sequential emails is to teach them how to use the product. Just train them, teach them how to use your product, and then upsell them at the end there.
Especially if it's a consumable product. Woohoo!
Absolutely.
I remember I got Perry Marshall's course on pay-per-click, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a week after I had it, I was looking through it, and I got an email from him going, "Have you gotten done with Chapter 1 yet?
I love that.
Did you follow these steps?" And then you should be ready. Keep reading because you're learning, and you should by now know how to do this, this, and this. Next, you're going to find out this. Get back to it. He kept doing that every week. It was great. He made me consume the product.
I love that. Yeah, and to build on what Michael had said, when we write sequences for ourselves or for our clients, we tend to write 3 types of emails. And the first type is a consumption email, and that's really what that is. That's what Alan's talking about. That's what Michael was talking about. Make sure that people are getting into your stuff, reading your content, listening to it, watching it, whatever it may be, because that's how they're going to get to know you, and that's how you're going to build trust with them. And then the second type of email is a trust email, and this really is just a story. We call these BFF emails around the office because you're trying to become someone's BFF. You want to be their best friend forever, right? So these are stories, these are videos, these are emails that link to blog posts, videos, whatever it can be that's going to engage with people and not sell them. And then the third type of email is a money email, and that's where you're going to sell your own stuff or where you're going to sell other people's stuff through affiliate links, right? That's your affiliate marketing. And typically when we write a sequence, we start top heavy with the consumption emails because we want people to consume what they've just downloaded or opted in for or bought. And then over the course of time, whether it's 2 weeks or 2 months, we slowly shift that balance to a point where if they haven't bought from us yet, eventually we get to a point where all we're sending them is money emails. And so we start real heavy with the consumption emails and with the trust emails, like the BFF stuff, and then slowly over time we transition to a sort of really good balance. But when they buy, they're upgraded to a different list anyway. So if they haven't bought, we just start to send them a lot of marketing stuff. So hopefully that helps with your question about sequences.
It does. Robert, did you have anything to add to that?
I wish I did. I'm not the expert on sequences. I've actually shunned away a little bit from the autoresponders in the past few years, but sort of moving back into that realm now because I know it's a good way to invite people to come back and watch more videos. So I'm using that tool really to say, here's the invitation, here's video 1, here's a link to it, here's a link to video 2, that sort of thing. And really switching away, like I said, moving away from the written word a little bit and moving more to the video sales letter format and live webcasts and that sort of thing, which is why I spent the money to build a studio because I know that's the future of marketing for a lot of us. Really isn't the way we were doing it anymore. Now it's really shifted into this realm.
Robert, you and I will have to talk about InVids later.
Okay.
Because you're a video guy, and being able to add calls to action that pop right up in the video, and you can send them out with email, sweet. Anyway, we are coming up on the top of the hour, and to wrap things up, we always like to end with the final thoughts from everybody here. Just comments, suggestions, ideas that you felt you wanted to, important that you got out, and just by way of wrap up, a final say. So let's just start with Erik because we know he's going to be outrageous, and we'll just go from there.
I like to think I'm passionate, Alan. Thank you very much.
Oh, outrageously passionate.
Yeah, I guess my final thought would be, I'm sitting on a panel here right now with people that I truly have looked up to for years and literally have their books on my bookcase. It's crazy. And so I would just say, please implement what these guys have said. They're all incredibly talented and really, really smart. And my thought would be, in terms of conversions, don't get hung up on a number. No matter what Heather may think from her CarCast, I just happen to disagree with that. I think that you really just need to get launched, and then focus on improving. And if you're always improving, and if you're always testing, I guarantee you every person on this call, on this panel, is constantly testing and trying to improve their metrics. And that would be my final thought for you, is not to get hung up on a number, just test. Thank you.
The number, to me, I agree wholeheartedly. The number should be better. And that's not a number. It's just better than it did. Michael, final thoughts from you, sir. There he is.
All right, yeah, great. Here's my final thought is, let no one steal your dream. It only takes one person to make that dream come true. That one person is you. You're looking at, on this panel, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue that's been generated. If you can just take away one thought, one idea, one concept, that's your starting block. You can't do it all at once, but eventually you can have it all. If you're willing to do what most people aren't, you can get what most people can have. So do it.
That's a key, isn't it? And that's the tough one most people can't seem to get over, is that doing something most people wouldn't, which that's the point. Robert?
I'm loving this panel, by the way. This has been a lot of fun. TJ, great to see you, and we'll have to Skype next week. And Michael, great to see you. And Erik, it's good to meet you as well. And Alan, thank you for having me here. And as some final parting words, I the best advice that I've ever been given or can give to anyone is get off your duff and just do it. The truth of the matter is you can't make a mistake. You can't get it wrong. You're never going to get it done. There's always going to be a way to improve. So people who are thinking, well, I'm only going to do it if I can make it perfect. Good luck with that. All of us here know we've failed many more times than we've succeeded. We've sent out many more emails that have done zero and even pissed people off sometimes than we've made sales sometimes. And you do it because those one hits, that one email or that one message or that one phone call, or maybe in that one webcast, is going to make up for all the mistakes. And every time you make a mistake, quote unquote, you learn something. And we learn from our experiences, and we get better over time. And we age like wine. A lot of people like to say in this industry we get better as we get older. And all of us here are aging, and we are much more experienced now, and we've been doing this for many, many years. And the truth of the matter is we had to start at some point. If we would have sat there and said, well, we're only going to do it if we know it's going to work, and we want that guarantee, and we have to know what the conversions are going to be, and we have to know if we invest $100 that we're going to get $1,000 back. None of us would have ever gotten started, and we didn't need that to get started. We just got started, and we went out there, and we made our mistakes, and we got our knees all scuffed up, but eventually we learned how to ride the bike, and today we can get around the block without any problem. We don't even think about it. So that's my advice for you. Just do it.
That's it. TJ? Final thoughts.
All right, it's going to sound like something that you could get out of any $13 success book. I know it is. But one of the smartest guys that helped me a lot, he just said you've got to work on yourself as hard or even harder than you work on your business. And I took that to heart. I like working on myself. And what does that really mean? Pardon my dog here, man. Pardon my dog.
He's got something to add, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, it means facing your fears, working on your insecurities, learning how to put yourself out there, developing a great attitude, strong beliefs, a firm, unwavering commitment. All that kind of shit that you can find in any $13 book. And I know that that's not why people came to this show tonight. They didn't come just to hear this kind of thing. And yet the most successful people that I know are people that are constantly working on themselves to just improve themselves in every way. And that also includes developing your marketing skills and abilities. And so I commend everybody for being here. I love the panel. I love all you guys. It's just been a blessing. It's been an honor. It's been a real privilege here. So, and Alan, thank you for everything, man. Thanks for inviting me.
I wouldn't have thought of doing this without these guys that are right here. This is great because this is like the pinnacle. I don't know how we're going to top this tomorrow night.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow night. Let's do it every night.
Let's do it tomorrow night. I mean, yeah, tomorrow night I have another panel, unfortunately, TJ. I'll slide you in, dude. Seriously.
I'm pretty much going to go out on a limb and assume that all of your guests tomorrow night will be less talented and less handsome than the panel that you have assembled for this evening.
Certainly less handsome than you, Erik.
My own final thoughts. I wanted to let everybody know that this is a test. And that's one thing I wanted to point out. I'm testing this Google Hangout thingy, and I wanted to do it in a big way. And a lot of people would tell you, you're going to try starting out with a panel of 40 people over 5 days. But I'll be honest with you, everybody. I had a hell of a time getting anybody to tell me no. And I was starting out asking, I was thinking I might have 15 of us and 5 of us a night for 3 nights or something like that. And I had, pretty soon I turned around, there was 35 people. I said, wait a minute, I got to add nights here. You can't even put but 10 people on a Hangout. So it grew that fast. And we have made countless mistakes along the way. We're having tech issues tonight like you guys wouldn't believe. And you know what? It's really cool because guess what? You probably didn't know that till I mentioned it. You watching? It's all what happens up front. You just got to be, and again, I'm doing this because I should show you guys the notes. There's a book I could write on what it took to bring this together. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have done it without you guys, couldn't have done it without Zane, Heather. Everybody came together to make that. We all wanted to see how well will this work. And if no one did it, somebody else would probably try it. So I just said, I'm going to try it first. And from what I've learned, there will be many more of these events. I can tell that this is as Robert, I think it was Robert said when we were getting started, this is where seminars are going to be going. And with that, I want to say one other big thanks to everybody and let you guys know, Robert said everybody needs to chip in and buy me a light. I love that in his chat. But I just want to let everybody know that there's one other person, one other company I actually want to thank, and I very, very rarely thank them for anything. Thank you, Google, for making this possible. With your technology you're making available that, quite frankly, I can't believe it's free to set these up and do them. You guys can right now go out and do a hangout yourselves. And everybody watching can go out and talk about putting yourself out there. Here's the way to do it. You can invite people in and talk to them one-on-one, multiples. But it is one of the best times to be alive. TJ just said that. Oh, somebody's playing with, it must be the end of the party because now it's getting crazy. We're playing with the Google effects. Pretty soon I'm going to end up with an eye patch, I have a feeling. But those are tools. That's the one Erik should have had the whole night. Where you may not be seeing this because I may be up there. I don't know. For all I know, Zane put Erik up there because he's stealing the show again. But I'm in awe too, and that's what's amazing to me is I'm in awe at the great friends I've got, the great contacts I've met, and so honored that all of you joined us in this very bold experiment. And it's I tell you what's funny is I said I made a lot of mistakes with it. It's come out so much better than I thought it might. I don't care. And I've learned a lot so that we can repeat it over and over again. And next time we will definitely have Erik the Mad Pirate back on. I think we should let everybody go have their Friday night back, don't you, right now? I know it's tough to end these things, but because we're having so much fun ourselves. And that's one thing I learned, by the way. I just want to add that. This is so much fun. The panelists are having as much fun as the audience, and it shows. But as Robert said, it's pizza time somewhere on Earth. And I think I may have to. Now you're making me hungry, dude. So, again, to me, it's a great honor being here with all of you and that you said yes and showed up. I'll be honest, we've had some people not show up. As you notice, it's a little smaller panel tonight. That's okay, too. That's part of the experiment. Tomorrow night, the experiment continues and we wrap up with session number 5, where we discuss with another great panel taking your business to that next level, creating a sellable business that you can move on with, advanced business tactics and techniques, and you don't want to miss that one. Meanwhile, if you want to catch all the replays, get the links for all the replays, tap into those nearly $10,000 in free gifts and goodies that the panelists brought. It's not enough they brought their brains to the table. They brought gifts just in case that wasn't enough. The only way to get that is to go to the Fantastic 40. That's with an F or with a 40, thefantastic40.com. Zane, did you ever get your mic back? I guess not, huh? Because I actually see him on video there now. But okay, he just told me in chat that obviously his audio is still not working, but that's fine too. What the heck, right? But I want to say good night to everybody. Thank you all. I could go on all night, but damn, I'm old. I've got to rest. Good night, everybody.